Hey, seventh grade. So something happened with the Zoom recording, and we did not get anything together, and that does not help you. So here we go. As you see, there are announcements. So let's make sure you click on your announcements. Excuse me. All right, and yesterday was December the 3rd. So you go to week 13. If it's closed, then you open it. If it's open, if it's open, we'll leave it open. So let's see what happens. So kind of spinning. There we go. You don't need week 12 or anything like that. You need week 13. If anything is gray, that means you haven't had a chance to go through it yet. So you want to make sure you start at the top, read, click next. Read, click next. So if it's gray, it just hasn't been opened by you yet. It's got prerequisites. Hopefully you did your Wednesday, December 2nd work. So let's start off with the overview and to-do list for December 3rd and 4th. You should have something called an immersive reader. So if you want a full read aloud, it's right there. Nuestra meta para el jueves, el 3 de diciembre, el viernes, el 4 de diciembre. So it looks like we're writing something at the end of class today. That's bold. It's like 6 sentences for writing. You've got your to-do list here. Click next. We had a brainstorm, engaged our home and chores, and we spoke out loud, and we also used the chat and just brainstorm a ton of vocabulary for these things. If you need immersive reader to read this aloud, it's right there. If you need the vocabulary list or any of the Quizlets, Senor Jordan to help you out with vocabulary, you can go to the Spanish 2, the Spanish 2 resource module in your Canvas lesson. And there's a whole thing just for Unit 1 and the house and the parts of the home and the rooms and everything else there. Everybody decided that they liked the Zoom chat, to be able to do the brainstorm because there wasn't any switching of screens. You could all just stay right on that screen, talk with each other, and blow up the chat. So the brainstorm worked best as a Zoom chat. And then we had a discussion post for Explore and Explain group discussion. What is your home? What's in it? What you do in it? This does not have an immersive reader feature, but up here in the top right, there's a purple puzzle piece with an R and W that's read write for Google Chrome, and you can have it read aloud to you. So the goal is ideally in the breakout room, you would speak Spanish and you would ask your partner these questions and your partner would answer back. So I'm going to pretend that you're asking me each question. Me llamo Wendy. Vivo en una casa en Newport News. Mi casa es azul y tradicional, tiene 2 pisos y es un poco desordenada. Mi cuarto favorito es la sala. En el cuarto hay 2 sofás, hay 2 mesitas de noche, hay 2 lámparas. En la sala hay una ventana grande con cortinas, hay estantes y hay un televisor. All right, this was a choice. You could choose which question you wanted to ask. Yo tengo que cocinar. Yo lavo la ropa. Yo voy a pasear al perro. Now I'm going to ask you, feel free to pause this recording and you answer out loud. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Dónde vives? ¿Cómo es tu vivienda? ¿Cuál es tu cuarto favorito? ¿Qué hay en el cuarto? And I'll ask all 3. You only have to answer 1, but I didn't know which one you would like me to ask you. ¿Qué tienes que hacer? ¿Cómo ayudas? ¿Qué vas a hacer para ayudar? All right, so some people prefer the breakout rooms for the speaking and just being able to talk with someone back and forth without everybody else blowing up the chat. Ideally, you were speaking. I can't make you, so hopefully you at least chat. So we set up partners, and then I set up breakout rooms, and I put each person or pair in their own breakout room. If you were absent, you and a partner can talk to me. You and a partner can talk in your Canvas inbox and set up a buddy. Okay. And then this part just had questions on it, the original questions. Somebody got abandoned by a partner, and so I went ahead and answered so that that person would have some information. And as you can see, Fia and Tatiana answered back and forth, but they also spoke. So you and your partner would come to a slide and type back and forth on the slide if you needed to. This group wanted to let me know that they were speaking aloud. So if you were not speaking in the breakout room and you were not using a slide, you came down here to the discussion post and you put things in the discussion post. So that was explore and explain group discussion, your home, what is in it, and what you do in it. Well, the reason you did that is because the evaluate part, your classwork assignment, is to write a summary of what your partner told you. Like I said, somebody's partner kind of didn't show up, so I took care of them and I put my answers on a slide. So your job now, your classwork assignment, is to describe your partner's home, real or pretend, in Spanish. You can use your vocabulary list from Spanish too, but I do want you to read the policy because if I suspect that your work has been overly translated, I'm just going to put a 0 and have you redo it. I don't want to know what Google Translate or Word Reference or Reverso Context. I want to know what your beautiful brain is coming up with. And you do have a vocabulary list. I did provide some starter sentences and told people that if you need to, you can just copy the starter sentence, delete the parts you don't need, and fill in the rest. So maybe I interview you and you're a guy. I would say, oh, mi compañero se llama Bob. If I interviewed you and you're a girl, I would say, mi compañera se llama Susie. Él or ella vive en. So you would choose the part that you needed. So I don't know, who you interviewed or who you would have talked to. You want to say his or her house is, his or her apartment is, his or her townhouse is, his or her condominium is, his or her mobile home is, and you describe the partner's home. So there are 6 sentences, right? And here's the rubric. So you want to make sure you use the rubric. I don't see immersive reader in here, but again, there's that Google Read Write for Google Chrome. And we click next. Always click next. You always want to check your elaborate and wrap up. Kind of see, what did we do today? And looking ahead, what's going on? So it looks like we're going to need our textbook, and this is language login soon. Looks like we're going to be practicing some things. Heads up, here comes a listening and reading quiz. There comes a vocabulary test and speaking test, just kind of letting you know what's going on, trying to get everything done before the winter break so that you're not thinking, oh, I have to do a test when I come back. Because who wants to study over winter break for a test? Not me. Okay, I ask that you study your vocabulary list and other resources. You can click right there. Make sure you checked your classes for A-Day work yesterday. Little pictures to end things. And there you go. I think if you click on next, it just takes you to the next module. So I hope that helps 7th period. I am terribly sorry that the Zoom recording was having some glitches, but I didn't want to leave anybody without a lesson or a practice. Some students really like the Zoom recordings and they just like having their teacher smile and wave at them. I love you. Make good choices. Come back to me next class.